Alright, so we're going to be starting another new project here. We're going to be adding on to our house. I've already laid everything out. I didn't do a video on that. If you got any questions, I'd be glad to explain, what I've done. Basically, this pink line you see here is the outside edge of the footer, which will be 8 inches past where the block will be. We've got the 2-foot bucket on the Kubota, and we're going to use that to do our footings as much as we can. It's an awful big machine to be fitting in a tight position like this. The finished grade of the house is going to be about 5 foot off the fence here. We wasn't planning on adding this addition, but we're kind of busting at the seams, so we're going to have to do this till we can build our other house, because in the end this is going to end up being a guest house or a mother-in-law suite. Got the laser transit set up here. We're going to be using it to shoot the grade on the bottom of the footing, and then I'll get out and check that periodically. More than likely, as I'm digging this, I'll just speed the video up where it's not a long drawn out video. But basically we're adding on a 16 by 20 addition, finished inside square footage. It'll be a little over that because we're doing 6-inch walls through the exterior, and that'll give us some room to breathe a little bit. But let's get to it. So what you're seeing there is right off the bat, I've pulled up a cable, and that's our fiber optic cable. Now, when they put the fiber optics in, they buried 2 cables because they broke one. I'm pretty sure that's the first one that they broke, because that's why I was checking my phone. My Wi-Fi is still coming off the house here, so I'm gonna leave it intact and bury it in the footer just in case that is the good one. But we're going to be real careful, especially on this lower end, because I know it's shallow here. Up there, I'm pretty certain they buried the cable a lot deeper than that on the second pass. The first one there, I'm at least hoping that's not the one that supplies the house. But so far so good. Cable sounds like it's broke on the inside. I've got a little tearing on the jacket, and the cable does sound like it's broke, and I still got Wi-Fi, so I'm pretty certain that is the one that they broke on the initial install, and our good one's still buried. But we're going to be a little more careful, especially on this section of the footer that we're on here, and then down below here where the power and everything comes into the house. We'll dig that by hand now. So we've changed our depth. We've come to our first step because it's downhill. So I'm dropping the footing 16 inches to compensate for the drop in the ground. I know this view's, let's see, let's move y'all. So I don't know if anybody else got this problem, but I've cut about 15 minutes out of this video just looking for this shovel and trying to remember what was the last project I used it on. If I put stuff back where it was supposed to go, that'd save a lot of time. So this will conclude pretty much this video. Footers are all dug. Luckily that cable there, I'm pretty sure, is the one that the fiber optics company broke when they was installing, because we still have fiber optics. I will bury that below the footer just in case, but right at the top of that bow there's a kink in the line. You can tell, you can hear the fiber optics lines crushed on the inside, so if that was the case we wouldn't have internet. So I'm more certain that's the line that's no good to start with. Luckily all of the footer is dug. The next step will be I'll form it up, and the reason I'm forming it up is because I'll be pouring this by myself, and I may end up mixing all this cement by hand because there's not enough here to really order a truckload, especially since everything's so inflated right now. Here, 3,000 pounder foundation mix is running about $160 a yard, and then plus delivery. So, you know, very expensive. Last time I bought concrete, it's around $100 a yard. That's for all this inflation nonsense. You see, we got the pigs coming to check out to run them off. Come on, get on out here. Don't want them messing up the pretty footers. We'll hem them up. Those three little ones are like Houdini. But anyways, we may end up mixing this concrete behind no more than what's going to be here. Here where I live, that's pretty standard, be 2 foot wide. It'll be anywhere from 8 to 10 inches in depth. And we've got one step over here. I'll be able to run 3 blocks out before I go down 16 inches on that one step. I could have did 2 steps, but I hate doing steps, so I'm doing just the one. I'm doing just the one big step here. So you can see there, that's going to be a 16-inch step right there, and then be 8 inches on one grade coming over here, 3/4 block out, and step down 16 inches, and then come all the way around and then tie back into the original footing here. So where this footing is going to tie into the house, I'll drill that out with a hammer drill and run some rebar in there with epoxy, and then concrete that footing in. Now all this area here that you're seeing, this doesn't have any topsoil on it because whenever we built this house, I pushed everything down the hill here, and we never come back with topsoil yet. So right in here, our frost line's approximately 13 inches here and in eastern Tennessee, and so that's about 12 inches in depth there, but I'll also be backfilling probably 8 to 10 inches of soil. So all the soil here from the footings, I'll use that to taper everything away from the house, and then I'll bring in the good topsoil on top of that to grow the grass on and get my proper slopage away from the house. The French drain that is there, you can still see it's showing. I'll tie back into it and run it through the foundation, and it'll still serve for the front of the house, but it'll also serve for this new addition. And then we'll run French drains around this inside, and then we'll run French drains around the outside. Now up here, this all slopes towards this footer, so that's why I piled that dirt up there, so if any rain happens before I get my first course or 2 of block in, it'll divert the water around the footers, hopefully. But my next video should be forming, as far as this addition on the house, will be forming these footers up with some rough cut lumber from the sawmill, and then we'll be pouring the footings and then laying blocks and start framing. If you got any questions on this process or what I've done so far or how I figured everything, just let me know in the comments, and then I guess we can take it from there. If not, hope you enjoy this what's going to be a series of adding on to the house here. I'm hoping to have this done in 45 days or less. We built this whole entire house in about 72 days, just me and the wife. So this addition is a 16 by 20, and hopefully, you know, we can hit that 45-day mark, maybe quicker than that. We will see. We're right here around all the holidays, Christmas and Thanksgiving, so that'll slow us down some, but I'll be happy if I can get the footers in and get the block up and get my J-bolts anchored in, so then I can go from framing, because framing will go really quick. But like I said, if you got any questions, put them in the comments. We appreciate you watching. See you next video.